Scenes like these are happening all over the galaxy right now. You could be next. That is, unless you make the most important decision of your life.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Huh? Me? Just hanging around.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Plot Coalition YouTube channel. I want to do a quick streamed update on episode 2. I am in like the final bit of like the storyboard animatic of episode 2, so I'm going to keep this pretty brief so that like I can jump in and finish doing that. So I'm going to kind of show how far along that is. I'm going to talk through a couple of generalized updates, and then I thought it would also be cool if my computer doesn't melt to show off the Horde system live. Let me fix the focus on my camera. The autofocus on my camera apparently doesn't work anymore. So I have to like reach up and be like, how far am I from the camera to get the focus? What's up, Mad Dog? What's up, Mr. Sea Urchin? Flame of War, Rinsler77. Welcome, welcome. So, to show kind of where we're at, these are the shots that I have left. So, very few compared to the rest of it. So, there are, I believe, 211 shots. Somewhere in there. I can actually hit my spreadsheet real quick. What's it? Yep, 211. There are 211 shots in the film, and we're working through. He's just, oh shoot, I'm not sharing my screen. Screen cap with Cam. He just like snapped his head. You guys all missed it. Amateur move on my part. What I was saying. Down here, these are the last couple of shots I have to do. That's what he did. He snapped his head away and then like snapped it back at me. I think the control rig broke for a second. But these are the last ones I'm doing. And then all these other shots, they're all figured out. They have everything spawned into them. It's the last of the boring stuff. Everything from here is just fun. There's fun every step of the way, for sure. But getting this timeline set up, getting all the stuff made, which this new button helps a ton with, because it basically it's coded to like take hours out of the process to do automatically, which is super nice. But what it doesn't do is like I still have to spawn everything in and make sure everything works, because in this storyboard phase is where we're figuring out like all the stuff that when you write a script, there's plenty of things where like you're just in your head and in your mind, it's kind of like dreaming, where it's like, this makes sense, like this will work. Then when you actually start to put it into practice, it doesn't. So that is what this helps us do, is figure out what's working, what's not, what's hitting. There's very little to no motion in it. Just like people sliding around, T-posing, stuff like that. Hey, Grape, welcome to the stream. But it figures out a ton of stuff. I can't watch through too much of it because I don't want there to be any spoilers. I'll try to jump to like an earlier part. But yeah, I mean, this is all stuff that I showed in my last video. So, like, this is fine to show. But, yeah, there's a ton of stuff that we're figuring out, where we're making sure works in this phase. And then when we kick out this version of the animatic, then it's just like off to the races with the animation, which we already have people working on animation for the shots that have already been figured out. But then I'll actually be able to go in and like, I get a ton done, especially when I go in like mocap stuff. Like there are shots like this may not be the most ideal one. But like stuff like this, knowing that like this is a guy walking around a corner and like it's only from like here up, knowing that I don't need to worry about like, are the feet sliding across the floor, does it look weird or wonky or whatever. I just need it to look good from here up. This is what the storyboard process of this whole thing helps us figure out. And so it takes like the difference of trying to do it all at once, and it shrinks it down to like, nope, this is all you need to make this shot look good. And the rest of the environment design and stuff like that will come with it. So it's very cool stuff. But yeah, I wanted to show kind of what some of these frames look like. I can turn the lights on. It's pretty dark in this scene. All this stuff, like it still needs to go through lighting and all that. And like final camera work, which like will come very, very quickly now that we have this stuff in here and figured out. So there's tons of cool stuff in here. I don't want to go too far and spoil too much, but it's looking pretty sweet. Very happy with it. After this stream is done, I'm going to finish those like last 15-ish shots, kick out a render. We'll drop in everybody's voice lines. We got voice lines recorded. And then it's just going to be go, 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 go till it gets to the final. And it's going to get there even faster than episode 1 did. Because one thing that I didn't think about when I wrote episode 1 was the first like 4 minutes, everybody's laying down. And in my head, I was like, that's not going to be too difficult. That's not going to be too hard. The problem is, like, no matter how you record the motion capture, I think what I ended up doing for a lot of it was just leaning against something, because I was like, I want to have my downward weight because I don't want to just go up against a wall, because that's not going to look natural, because like it won't be my body holding myself up, it'll be my feet. So I wanted to make it feel more realistic, so I just leaned against something. But like even then I had to completely recorrect the motion capture body, and then like I had to stick parts of the body to the ground or like to a gun or stuff. It was I was very intentional about like characters in episode 2, just to have a bit more of a break, are going to be standing on their feet and moving around and doing things that we know we can do, or doing things that we know are easy to do. Because the other really difficult one that our animator Bowden did was where the White Wolf was dragging the Winter Warrior, and that's a ton of interaction. It's one character who can't move. It's a character who also has a broken foot, so like when Bowden did the motion capture for it, like he scooched himself to like get like motion of being pulled back, but then like he had to like completely delete it out of his foot and like then simulate the foot on the ground because it couldn't look like it was putting weight on it or anything like that. tons of work in episode 1 because there was way too much. People are lying down or being dragged or different things. So there's a lot less of that in episode 2. People are up and running around a whole lot more, which in some cases you can even just use like a stock run animation and it works pretty well. Need a Helldiver bouncer that just stands around like that everywhere he goes, and his name is T-Pose. That would be pretty good. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up here in a few minutes, but I did want to show you guys the Horde system because it's kind of cool to see, and that's going to be the next thing that we implement. Because another thing that episode 1 didn't have, because it took place in 2 locations. So like we split up the locations. I split it up into like what kind of weather was happening at any given time. Let me turn this into unlit mode so it doesn't melt my computer. Because what it's trying to do right now, when I zoom all the way out and it sees all these clips, it's loading all the data for every single clip, which could be difficult. Any cheese in this episode? No cheese as of yet. There's some yellow on this car, but I feel like we need to figure out where to put some cheese in the episode. I love the tension in the first episode. Thank you. I'm very happy with how episode 1 turned out. Episode 2 is going to be a wild ride. Hey, Reeve, how's it going? My boy with the AMR. Yeah, like I was saying, with this all figured out. Oh, we'll get to the Horde system in a second. So this is the entire film, all the way through. And it takes place on one map. So the map, I've like... And you guys have kind of seen this a little bit on the last stream, but it's basically mapped out into like areas to use and then like ways to cheat the set. So now that the storyboards are almost done, I can build out the rest of the set and stuff. But basically what's going to happen with the Horde system, and I'll show how it works here in a minute when we pull it up, but it will essentially be, there will be like illuminate pockets hidden in the map. And they'll all update and respond to like collisions in the world, to like force them to funnel down the streets and stuff when we need them to. But basically what will happen is, as this movie is playing out here, this film, with the exception of like some of the final post-processing and like the better rendering, it could technically just be watched in Unreal Engine. Once we get this next part done, because it's basically going to be, as it's playing back, there are going to be triggers that tell those illuminate like, okay, start, like, go to the road and find your way to XYZ point. And I can control basically when they get released into the wild. And because it'll be playing on this level, it should push them out and populate them with the right timing and all that. But it'll just be a matter of like, okay, when do I want like some of the Horde to come out in any given shot, and then I can push them out, and I can kind of decide if I want that to happen on a global scale or if I just want to have it happen on a per shot basis. I know it sounds a little bit weird, but that's some of the stuff that I'm figuring out. So once that is figured out, this is gonna look pretty sweet. So when you guys see this next week, the set will be built out a lot more. I'll probably record some motion capture this weekend. Our animators are already working on shots, so there's going to be a lot of progress from this week to next. And there's a lot of things that can go into motion, because even like music, some light sound design stuff, and just like all the more fun parts of putting it together are going to be falling into place, which is super, super cool. But right now it's loading up all the data for every single shot, getting that in. But all right, you guys have been waiting long enough. Let's get to the Horde system. Let me see. I've imported so much stuff. Level testing, overcrowd testing too. All right, here we go. Hopefully my computer doesn't melt. Into the belly of the beast. We're about to load in 5,000 illuminate. Maybe not. They have disappeared. Guys, the Illuminate have disappeared. Let's try to respawn them. So this is Overcrowd. This is a plugin. Charlie O'Driscoll on YouTube. He's the co-developer of this plugin. It's awesome. It's crazy. You should definitely go and support him. But he gave me this plugin for free, which was so cool of him. I basically went to him and I was like, hey, I'm thinking about getting your plugin, but does it run in Unreal, the latest version of Unreal Engine? And he was like, yeah, we're working on it. It's still got some bugs. Here's a key. You can have it for free. And I was like, oh, thank you. So super cool guy. Okay, so this is where the crowd is supposed to be. So I'm going to reload them. And there they are. Haha. And they're all running to this point. So basically what they do is wherever they're spawned, they will make their way to this navigation. And then you can kind of see they funnel like ants. I need to rebuild some parts of the crowd simulation so they actually avoid each other. But this basically like gives me all the control that I would need. Now there's some of them that are just falling forever. So that's a little bit of a bug here. But let me see if I can. We are in crowd placement. Let me just see what happens if I take my brush. Oh, hold down control. And I paint down there. And there we go. Now we just spawned in, I don't know, like 100, 150 more. And they all have that same kind of logic where they're all moving. They're all driven by like a random animation that like each of them automatically gets assigned, and they all start looping that. So like you can see like these crawling ones are going to crawl forever, but they're going to be more sparse than the walking or the running ones. The running ones go crazy. They all just get on the path and they go. They don't care about this guy on the side. They're like, get out of here, Jerry. Jerry, you can't join us. But here, let's do a like a computer melting amount. Let's see. Let's make this. I'm gonna say 1,500. Nah, we'll go 5,000. Oh, I did too big of a number. I did 50,003. Hold on. And then how does it not lag at all? I'll explain that here in a second. So watch. I'm gonna paint down even more. Ugh, computer struggles. And computer response. Oh, it dropped all of those guys through the floor. Oops. Oops. Let's try. So I think the floor problem happens because the cameras spawn too far away from it. So well, yeah. See, because now they're all here. Now the whole gang showed up, right? So how does this work? How does this run? Because I'm getting like a steady. What is my frame rate? La 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 la. La 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 la. I very rarely monitor my frame rate. I'll be honest. I'm used to it being pretty pretty low. This is like all the stuff to track them. But I mean, I'm getting, this is like 60. I'd say this is pretty steadily at least 60. That's all the data for all of them. That's all their logic. Oh, as you can see, I went too close. And it was trying to load all their logic. I think it was trying to load the logic and them too fast. I'm going to turn off some of these effects. I think they're also because they're all grouping up. It was getting confused. But how does this run like this, right? So I'm going to try and figure out a very layman's term way to explain what this is basically what Overcrowd does is it takes the characters and their animation, and this is one of the reasons, because I saw people when I posted this on X, they were like, why don't they just make Helldivers 2 in Unreal Engine if it's this good or whatever, right? And it's like, no, that's not the point. This is this would be horrifying to see in game, but there's a reason you can't see it in game. This is really only useful for cinematics, and here's the reason why. So all these characters have a type of logic, and you can change their logic because they're all individually controlled. They're basically all driven by a system of particles rather than like each individual thing. So you can, those particles have different data tied into them. And so with that data comes like basically how is that particle being rendered, and each of these characters is one of those particles. Now those particles can have the perception of being very smart because you can pack a lot of data into them. For example, like, you know, this guy, this particle is running, this particle is walking. One of the particles, who is probably not caught up to this part of the crowd yet, is crawling. It's all that kind of stuff. So like even like over here, the real slow pokes, you know, they're trying to catch up. They're doing their best. Here, we got a conga line that's going crazy right now. These guys are actually trailing off. What are these guys doing? Or did they just... No, they're actually behaving how they're supposed to. They're actually trying to... Oh, now they're all breaking up the conga line. Oh, interesting. There must be something broken in their navigation path. But so basically, this path, obviously it's telling them where to go. But what happens in this instance, why are they all breaking? They all break right there, and then they're all trying to find their way back to each other. And these guys are running in circles. So not the most intelligent particles, as you can tell. But so essentially how they ended up, or why so many of them can be rendered, is because that particle is being... Look at this conga line. Each particle of this is being driven by what's called a vat, which is basically an animated material. So in a video game, in like a rendered thing or whatever, like a 3D scene, like everything has materials. It's how, you know, you see like the skin on any of these guys. It's the checkered part of this floor. Everything to be seen or rendered in a scene needs some sort of material applied to it, essentially. And if it doesn't have a material, you know, it's like usually just assigned like a singular color, which is its material, because that's how the engine knows how to render it as a 3D object. What this plugin does... Goodness, look at, they're all getting so confused, Papa. What the plugin is doing, so many of them must have just run off and died. Or are they like making their way all around? But basically what it's doing is it's taking that... We're going to reload this so we can bring everybody back. So you can see once again just how massive this crowd was until some of them just started vanishing. But it is taking an animation that was assigned to these characters, and it was like, okay, I'm going to look at the character, I'm going to look at their material, and I'm going to animate that material with these animations that were assigned to it. I know that might sound kind of confusing, but it's basically how this is happening. Why it doesn't, why it wouldn't work in a game, and why I'm able to have all these rendered on screen right now as Unreal saves, and it's probably going to crash. Nope, we're good. how they're rendered on screen right now is like none of these characters have bones or anything like that. So there aren't, 8 million bones or whatever in this scene. How many characters are in this scene? I believe it's in this overcrowd system. How many we got based off of this? 13,068 is how many we were rendering. And a whole bunch of them are falling off the map again. But so there's 0 bones involved in these guys, and bones take up a lot. So instead they use, to like drive their logic, if you see these little like point of interest things, that's basically what they are, is just all these little dots. But then those dots are driven by the data that the Overcrowd plugin was given to work off of, to give them any sort of animation. So that is, as layman terms as I can explain it, is how it works. So rather than being like full characters, they're just these little white dots that are particles that are being driven by data that was fed into Overcrowd and baked it into those particles. Basically boneless voters. That's what they are. So they're supposed to have like way more logic to them. This crowd, I was kind of just trying to like see how they would perform, but like they lost a lot of intelligence, because like they're essentially supposed to be like looking at each other and being like, I'm too close, to Bob, and I'm too close to Jerry, so I'm going to avoid him. But like right now they just get like confused and stuff, but it's because I was trying to, it was the first time I was getting it to work successfully, and I just wanted to see how many I could render on screen. We're going to turn off the data because that chews up a lot in the GPU. But yeah, so that is basically how you kind of like put them down. And then like if I switch over and I do the navigation, I can delete the navigation. So yep. We might be cooked, boys. They don't know where to go. They've lost their sense of purpose. I was trying to show. See, I shouldn't have chosen to do 13,000 characters. Okay, so here we go. So we lost a bunch of them because the camera was too far away. But now they're aimlessly going to run. They don't know what they're going towards. They have chosen a point in the world. And they're going to run towards it, right? And then they'll fall off the edge. And bye-bye. Yep. So, let me make this smaller. Let's make it 1,500. Even now. Sorry. 150. That's still too big. Why is this not going down? Oh, that's the spacing. Yes, we want that. I need to change this to 1,500 is probably pretty good. Okay. So I'm just going to draw a line. That goes like that. And we'll reload the crowd, and now you'll see they're all going to look for a point and then get on the path and start following it. And so this is basically like when I was showing the roads before, is like this is basically what they'll do is I'll have pockets of them, and then they'll have triggers that will be like, okay, just idle for a while, and then when in the sequence I'll have like a special volume that goes over them that says, okay, you can start moving to the point. And that's the only animation that I have to do. Is basically that volume goes over that crowd, that part of the crowd, and it tells those particles, "Hey, go find the nearest road and start walking." So that is how their logic will be dictated and how they'll move around the city, which will be pretty cool. And then I'll also have to fix this stuff, like them like getting too crowded and like just they're not even bumping into each other. They are just straight up clipping through each other. And the fast guys are way outpacing the slow guys and stuff like that. But I do also want to show, I don't know if it's going to work in this one, but we're going to give it a try. I'm just going to put, ooh, adding a cube was too much. There we go. But we're going to try putting this right in front of them. And look at this. This is how the buildings will work. Look at them. Look at them go. And so they do function with collisions. So I can push them around. See that? And they're like, oh. Like, we need to get around. So if I make, like, a bunch of these, and I obstruct their path, and all this other jazz. So on top of, and they're just like ants, guys. But what we're going to do, I'm going to create a bunch of these, and then we'll re-simulate the crowd so that they have to logically like try and figure it out. Because like right now, like these guys, they're just like wall. They're not applying any sort of logic to get around it. These guys kind of are. These two, Kevin and Stuart. They're not quite that smart. But yeah, we'll have a few of these, and then we'll re-simulate the crowd and show it off again. So now we have like a little bit of a block here. I'm gonna the way they all kind of like fall and get bullied. I'm bullying the Illuminate guys. But here we go. And then we'll go back into overcrowd. I'm gonna do a quick save. Actually, I might save and reset them all. We'll see. Nope. That's okay. We'll go here. And then we'll re-simulate. And as you can see, now everybody is interacting with the world more. So this is what they're gonna do essentially on the streets. They're like, but basically the streets are going to be what guides, like the actual guides that they're going for. There's not going to be something in the road for, yes, I'm slandering, Kevin and Stuart. Super cool. How far can you push this? Like, could you put in Seif and have them fight back and animate distant battles, or is it purely crowd sim? That is what they're working on, in the plugin. So that's like their end goal that they want it to be. You can have pairings of characters that basically like look at it and kind of cheat it. We're getting way more variety with the crowd now though, because they have to take their time to get around these. Looks like my dad playing a video game right there. But yeah, no, it's look at this guy. That's the eventual goal, what they want it to be, and there are different ways that you can spawn everybody in and stuff. And yeah, they basically want it to be like in the Lord of the Rings, they have the crowd system for that. And that's basically what these guys are trying to create. We got World War Z happening over here. Let's release them. Go, children. And they got confused. They found their way back, though. They found their way back. But yeah, no, it's super cool. It's crazy that it runs on a single computer, and this is basically how it is done. Is there's no bones. It's just all these characters running with basically animated materials instead, which can lead to some wacky results when they all get bundled up, and that's why I need to work on fixing their logic, because Overcrowd has stuff to control that logic. Yeah, because like this is looking real rough. I think part of that is just the point of interest. Things are too close together. So if I make this 1500, you know, we delete a bunch of these. I can turn up the spacing, which is basically like if you have too many of these points too close together, they won't know what to do. But if I take it and I say spacing, we'll make that 5,000. And I say, hey, run through here. You're going to run this kind of obstacle course. There we go. We'll give them something a little bit more complex to do. We'll reload them. Turn off the brush. But when they have these larger spacings, I tend to find that like they don't bundle up quite as much because they're not all hovering to like tight point to tight point to tight point. And then once I get their logic to say like, hey, I can't be near this guy, because they're supposed to have like their own little like voxels where like only so many can be in a certain amount of space. Look at this guy, he's so free. He's a free thinker. But yeah, and as you can see, the like even though the path intersects with this building or this cube, they're gonna try and go around it. So they do all have like enough logic to appear as a crowd, and that's what's going to make them great for animating background crowds, because then it's like if I want like a shot like this, but I want like an illuminate coming towards the camera doing a very specific thing, I can animate just that one guy and then just have this, you know, massive horde doing everything else. So that's run, Forrest, run. Exactly. And everybody else is following. Is he still going? Did we lose Forrest? Oh no. Did Forrest fall off the map? It looks like he did. It's so funny too because they just get lost. Like if we go away from these guys enough. Actually, it looks like we lost everybody. We lost the entire crowd. All of them are gone. No! So they're working on fixing that bug. But it is a bug nonetheless. But I think that's a good place to end it. Like I said, I need to go finish up the storyboards. But I thought it'd be cool to kind of show this off a little bit. Because the next bit will be finish storyboards, record mocap, put mocap on all of those animated shots, finish building the set, and then also have the illuminate triggers in there so we know how much of the crowd to actually plant. Which I very highly doubt on the size of the map that we have for the episode. It is not going to be 13,000. My guess is we might have 1,000 characters on screen. If that, for the actual film. But who knows? There could be like potential for, hey, there's just a really cool shot that's just like, just Send in as many of them as you can. We'll see. We'll see. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'm going to get the rest of this wrapped up. And then, yeah. I think I saw that Mad Dog said that they're hosting a post-stream party in VC. So be sure to go join that. I'm going to be working on this. And then I'll probably render it out and go to bed. I was thinking about dropping in voice actors tonight, but I don't think that's going to happen. But we do have all that recorded, and they all sound amazing. They're very, very funny. So I think it's going to be a good time. But all of you have a good night, and we'll see you later. I don't know what to put on screen right now. So this is awkward.